If a relationship doesn't feel right, it's better to leave it broken than to keep it broken. Can the same be said about the Kenya Kwanza coalition headed by President William Ruto that came into power in 2022?
Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General, he's moved
abducted. The person who has alleged that his son was abducted is the former Attorney General Justin Muturi.
The position of Democratic Party that has written a letter of exit from the Kenya Kwanza coalition is a sign of now enough is enough and the time to exit. It has issued a notice of exit from the President William Ruto-led coalition. In a letter to the Kenya Kwanza Coalition Secretariat and the Registrar of Political Parties in Kenya, the party says, quote, "Kindly take notice that our stay in Kenya Kwanza Coalition is no longer tenable due to the prevailing political developments." The letter continues to say that Democratic Party of Kenya, vide this letter, hereby gives a 30-day notice to exit the coalition as stipulated in the termination clause 8 in the coalition agreement. It continues to say that, quote, "The notice is effective from the date of this letter." The letter was written on the 7th of March 2025. Now, this has been co-signed by Dr. Jacob, the Secretary General of the Democratic Party of Kenya, and Issa Woke, the chairman of the same party. The letter in our possession is addressed to the Kenya Kwanza Coalition Secretariat and copied to the Registrar of Political Parties, the Secretary General of Ford Kenya counterpart, the United Democratic Alliance, Secretary General of Maendeleo Chapchap Party, which are the other parties in the coalition. Democratic Party is a vehicle that got Public Service CS Justin Muturi into the Kenya Kwanza coalition, which preceded his appointment to cabinet as Attorney General. According to the party, JB Muturi's appointment to the cabinet was the reason he stepped down as party leader. The strained relationship between the CS and his boss, President William Ruto, has been cited as a reason for Muturi's looming exit from the cabinet. This was reiterated by National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah while on an interview with Al Jazeera, who said Muturi knows he is on his way out of cabinet.
Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General, he's moved
abducted. The person who has alleged that his son was abducted is the former Attorney General Justin Muturi. And
how did he get his son released?
And I'll tell you again, I have read from the media, heard Justin Muturi what he said, just as you heard it. It is an allegation by Justin Muturi, somebody who has...
Mr. Muturi says he went to the president and said, "President Ruto, the intelligence service has taken my son." President Ruto called the head of your intelligence service and his son was released.
Have you heard Mehdi from President Ruto on the same? Have you heard from the director of intelligence?
You tell me what's President Ruto's place. He denied it?
Have you heard from him?
No, I don't live in Kenya. You're the expert. Has President Ruto denied that?
Why don't you allow then me to tell you my
Please
take?
do.
Because that's your take.
Please.
From what has been reported.
That's not my take. I'm reporting
so
a member of your government.
This
is amazing. I'm quoting a member of your government, not the opposition, a member of your government who you're calling a liar because he says his son was abducted.
That's why I told you Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General and current Minister for Public Service,
yes,
is a politician to begin with. Has beef with his boss.
Okay.
In the government itself.
Wow. So he made up a story about his son being abducted.
There are reasons.
Wow, Kenyan politics.
Will you allow me
Please.
to make my points?
Please, this is just, I'm stunned.
There are reasons why Justin Muturi was removed as Attorney General around the time of the demonstrations in June of last year. There are reasons probably why Justin Muturi knows he's probably on his way out. It is him who has made those allegations. That is a matter under active investigations. As I told you,
has President Ruto denied it?
We have got, you would need probably to invite him and ask him.
You can't
I am not President William Ruto, neither am I his spokesperson.
Has he denied it? It's a simple factual question, yes or no?
I have not heard him, and I don't know if he has been asked to...
So one of the... I just want to recap for our viewers, just to be followed. A minister in the Kenyan government has said that his son was abducted by the intelligence services and the president of Kenya had to intervene to release his son. You suggest the minister is lying and on his way out, but the president hasn't denied any of this happened.
I don't suggest. I tell you emphatically, the minister has reasons to lie.
Okay.
Emphatically. He has reasons to lie.
And he's on his way out?
He definitely knows it.
All right, Justin Muturi, if you're watching, you may want to put your resume out there.
Even as his party exits Kenya Kwanza coalition, Justin Muturi, while appearing on a media interview, said he considered it morally wrong for him to resign because he's speaking about constitutionalism and against what they as Kenya Kwanza coalition had promised Kenyans would never happen under their watch.
To the UN headquarters, you are the Attorney General.
Indeed.
The President's chief legal advisor.
Absolutely.
And these things have not stopped yet. No stoppage to these abductions, extrajudicial killings. Why then just offer your resignation?
You know, I consider it morally wrong for me to resign, yeah? Because I am speaking about constitutionalism. I am speaking against what we, as Kenya Kwanza, when we campaigned, promised Kenyans would never happen at our watch. And therefore, resignation for me would be an act of cowardice.
Yeah.
I would be, people wonder, what kind of person is this one who sees a problem, doesn't speak about it, and merely walks away? It will look very cowardly on my part. And I think for the young people of this republic, I would be letting them down by resigning.
The question is, what is this happening in the country that they promise Kenyans it will never happen?
Rex died without breaking it.
No, I'm just telling you.
He died before.
There are criminals who infiltrated and caused mayhem. And in fact, some of the criminals are actually harmed. They actually harmed the peaceful protesters. Many of the peaceful protesters, they lost phones. They were attacked. In fact, some of the peaceful protesters were attacked by criminals, including a clear example of the one I have explained to you, that they overpowered the police, took the gun from the police, and started shooting innocent people.
Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi has maintained staying head high even after slamming the government he has served in or is still serving in. He confided that he does not fear being sacked. What fear? He asked, when the media questioned him of whether he fears what was awaiting him in the form of sacking. He added that he has put his trust in God should Ruto decide to dismiss him.
I would just say, bring it on, at my age, I'm not the kind of person to respond to some of it is really very perfunctory statement made by fairly inexperienced politicians. I think they're not worthy my response. So if anybody thinks that I don't know what I'm doing, then they are up for a rude shock.
The CS earlier raised concerns that more than 6 months after his son Leslie Muturi's ordeal at the hands of unknown kidnappers, he had not been charged for any offense and no explanation given about his detention. In a presser on Sunday, January 12th, Muturi strongly condemned the rising cases of abduction in Kenya, seeming to accuse the state where he serves of liability and pointing a direct finger at President William Ruto for overseeing the abductions. He called for the expeditious arrest of those involved in the abductions of young Kenyans since June 2024. The CS said the series of abductions had gone unchecked under President William Ruto's administration and the vice needed to be nipped in the bud. He noted that he still reels from the emotional turmoil his family was subjected to after the disappearance of his son in June 2024. The former National Assembly Speaker stated that despite being the Attorney General at the time and having links to the national intelligence, he has never received details behind Leslie's abductions.
William Ruto, mimi kama kiongozi katika taifa hii yetu ya Kenya, mwenye nilikupenda na ninakupenda, nilikutafutia kura, umenipatia majukumu, ninatekeleza, ningependa nikuombe peupe kwamba kuna watu wenye wanataka kuchochea Mheshimiwa waziri wako Justin Muturi, mtoto yake alishikwa akapotea. Wewe kama mzazi, mtoto wako akishikwa mateka apotee, huwezi kuwa na furaha. Sasa Muturi amekasirika, anataka kujua ni nani alishika mtoto wake. Wengine wameanza kusema Muturi must resign, Muturi must be sacked. Shame on you. How do you sack a father kwa sababu he's concerned about abduction of his child? Ndio ningependa kumwambia President Ruto, usisikize wale ambao wanasema umwachishe Justin Muturi kazi kama waziri. Kitu ya maana yenye utafanya, ukubali kwamba ukiona watu wakiuliza maswali kuhusu abduction, sio kwamba wanasema serikali ndio inatenda hiyo. Wanasema wewe kama president, chukua jukumu kama president wetu uhakikishe maneno ya abduction ifanye nini? Ishi. That's all. I mean, even if I'm the president of Kenya tomorrow, you will expect me to stop abductions. Otherwise, mtakuwa mmenipigia kura ya nini? And therefore, I stand with the president to support him positively. Naona vijana wadogo, akina Kimani Ichung'wah, sijui nani, ndio wanaambia president ati mwaka petroli kwa moto.
Whether the Democratic Party's decision to leave the Kenya Kwanza coalition is justified depends on honesty, open communication, recognizing when it's unworkable, and then moving on. If the party truly believes that its values are being compromised and that its influence is minimal, then just leaving might be the best course of action. However, some argue that it should also consider the potential consequences for the stability of the government and its own future prospects. The situation is further complicated by Justin Muturi's position. His decision to stay in the cabinet, even as his party exits the coalition, adds another layer to the complexity of this political drama. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.